I'm TarotOracle, and today we are going to cover pregnancy readings. In case you wonder where this information came from, by the way, this is from my audiobook/ebook available on Etsy. It's 230 pages of, how to read tarot. There you go. How to read tarot, my particular method. And today, like I said, we're doing pregnancies. A lot of times this is treated like a yes or no question, and it's shuffled off after 10 seconds. I just want more thorough coverage of it. And that's what we're here to do today, is talk about that. And the main meat and potatoes of the pregnancy reading, the card that you're sort of looking for, am I pregnant? Tell me about pregnancy and whatnot. Sort of the Empress. The Empress is very comfortable. The Empress is your main meat and potatoes card, and the Empress is the one that you definitely want to look out for. The Empress reversed sometimes means not pregnant, so you got to treat reversals kind of carefully with this. The Empress reversed definitely means not pregnant, but it could also mean a pregnancy is soon. The presence of the Empress is powerful enough to indicate something's going on, either now or later. So you definitely have the high possibility, especially if the Empress appears at the first or the last card of your spread. So any prominent position the Empress is going to be there, then you're definitely looking at something happening with that, right? Even if it's reversed. All right, the Two of Cups is the next meat and potatoes card. Now, why? Because we're looking at medical astrology, and you're asking about medical astrology. Judith Hill has some fantastic books on this if you're interested in it. And because it is a particular Cancer, Venus within Cancer. You're talking about Cancer's ruling over the chest, breast, and stomach, nurturing sign, and all this other stuff. So if you look at Judith's book, any of her books, it talks about pregnancy being in the particular sign. So there you go. The Two of Cups is going to be your other main meat and potatoes. I consider this actually, because of medical astrology, to be the second highest card for this. Empress being number one, and second place is going to be the Two of Cups. Now, I think a lot of people don't use that or don't do that. But again, I'm relating medical astrology back to tarot, and that's where we're going to be. The other card that I think is a great one for this is going to be the Six of Cups. Now, this is where you have somebody giving something to a child. It's almost like a gift or an exchange, or you definitely have, that feel of birth, or you have the feel of pregnancy and whatnot with the Six of Cups. I think this is a huge and powerful card with this. Again, I rarely see this sort of indicated by that, but we are looking at my method. So my method is talking about the Six of Cups being a powerful card for pregnancies. So if you are looking for something like this, Six of Cups definitely leans this way. Now the other card is going to be the other cards are going to be the tens. The Tens of Cups and Pentacles. Obviously we have dancing children in the Ten of Cups, and we have children and dogs and grandparents with the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is a powerful card because we have a family gathering with children. So we're looking at the family getting together, celebrating a newborn, celebrating, getting the party on, everybody rejoicing, the family loving the new member of the family, the pregnancy of the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Cups is, again, a celebration. So we have a celebration card. Now, can we relate a celebration like the Three of Cups being a celebratory card into the mix? I think so. But it's sort of a stretch. We need more evidence. We need something else going to be within the spread that's going to be important to you, and that is going to be the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, again pointing to this. So again, but the Cups and the Pentacles, what's the difference, right? The Pentacles is an earthly card, and the Cups is an emotional card. Very sort of interesting combination between these two. And you definitely want to treat these as a little bit different within the pregnancy. Again, pregnancy is not a yes-no reading. It needs more beef. It needs more content. And I think there are a lot of cards that will provide this content as well. So you're asking, what about cards with children in it? I mean, the sun represents a celebration. The sun is a good news card. The sun lights up the deck. A lot of books will actually say the sun is the best card in the deck. If you're looking for a yes, no, I'm looking for giving me a reading and give me good news. The sun always shines in the readings. And obviously we have a child within here riding in or coming into view. And this is pretty important, I have to say. And the sun definitely could point to a pregnancy. Again, it's not one of my meat and potatoes cards, not one of the cards that I normally look for, but can we take that as a hint? Can we take that as a sign? Absolutely. The sun is a very valuable card, especially the arrival of a baby. The arrival of a baby, I consider the sun to be a powerful card with this. Judgment as well. We have reincarnation or rebirth. So you're looking at birth, you're looking at getting a new life in. Judgment points to that. It points to the rebirth, the reincarnation. It's pretty powerful. Judgment is a pretty powerful card. Not a card that you want to take lightly. It definitely has a serious tone to it. So Judgment would be another fantastic one that we could use for this. Now we're sort of getting into what about children in general. So I have a child in a card. No matter what deck you have, I have a child in a card. What does that mean, right? So at some point, I mean, this is a young person. Could this be a newborn? Could this be a child? I don't know. I mean, if you really want to stretch, if you really want to get a Walmart Empress here, the Five of Pentacles, you're really stretching it in my opinion. Six of Swords as well. We have a child in the boat. So again, if we have the arrival of a child, it is coming in on a boat, it is leaving sort of thing. And that's why I really don't use like this one and this one for pregnancies. Five of Pentacles is sort of a bad card overall. And the Six of Swords has sort of a mellow tone, but they are moving, but they're leaving. They're not arriving. In other words, after the arrival of a child in the sun, I can relate to this. We can go with this, but the leaving of a small child doesn't really work for me. It's just not something that I use. All right, again, highly recommended medical astrology. Again, you can relate this back to cards. Cards have signs, cards have planets. You can look back. So medical astrology points to, again, the Two of Cups being a very powerful and potent pregnancy card. If you're looking for a great pregnancy card, I would recommend that, because once you're wandering around in the Cancer sign, it does say that it does mention pregnancy. Anyway, so what about other decks? I mean, there are a host of other decks. We don't have to stick with the Rider-Waite. What about the Gregory Scott Tarot? Gregory Scott Tarot has a Nine of Cups being pregnancy. We have, a pregnancy, a very 10 of Pentacles feel here. We're all clapping, we're celebrating, there's fireworks going on in the background, and obviously we have a pregnancy, the dog's all excited, the dog's like, I have a new buddy, I have a new friend, the lady's excited. I mean, master of the obvious. If you have a clear, distinct pregnancy hint within your deck, no matter what it is, then that is going to point to a yes. That is going to point to good news. That is going to point to something we can relate to. And that's where the Gregory Scott Tarot, other tarots come in. I mean, this is the biggest master of the obvious pregnancy yes. Pregnancy equals yes equation that you can get. So if you're looking for this is going to be where it's at. All right. So let's move on. Again, pregnancy is not a yes or no answer. I think we can pull a lot of detail from these cards, so let's do that. Is it running late or early? A pregnancy, obviously we have 9 months to go. Is it going to be late? In other words, I'm due on September 1st. Is it going to be late or early for that? The Wheel of Fortune is the day-to-day card. It is the cycles card. It points to regular day-to-day life and cycles, regular cycles. Now, that's going to be important for us, isn't it? Regular cycles, Wheel of Fortune says on time. On time. Not the exact date and time, but on time. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like a month later. It's not going to be a week later. You know, Wheel of Fortune says we're going to be on time, pretty much on schedule. And that's really important here. Any cycles card. The moon, the Wheel of Fortune says on time. Now, early, we want a quick movement card. Quick movement card. That is swiftness in the Thoth. The Eight of Wands, a quick card. The Knight of Swords, a fast movement card. You know, there are many fast movement cards in here. The Chariot is not a fast movement card. It's a movement card, but it's kind of slow. The wheels are made of concrete. You know what I mean? That's not exactly the quickest card in the world. But yeah, the Knight of Swords is definitely a quick, fast card. I think that means early, in my opinion. That points to an early arrival, which is going to be great, right? Late, a little bit late. Anything that points to a delay. Now, in my system, the Four of Swords points to a delay. It's a planning card. It's a, hey, let's hold off. Let's wait a minute card. That's sort of where we go with this. You know what I mean? And the Four of Swords, again, is a late card. It's like the mountain in Lenormand, pointing to a delay. In my opinion, the Four of Swords is delayed. We have other cards that could point to a delay as well. What about a restrictions card like the Eight of Swords? The Eight of Swords, you know, you're tied up, you're restricted. Could be a delay as well. That's up to you. But running late would be a delay card, a planning card, any card like that. All right. Complications. Normally, people don't like discussing complications with a pregnancy because you're going to panic the querent. But if it's somebody you know, you're comfortable discussing this, they want to know, could you get complications and pull that out of a deck? Of course. Nine of Swords, though, has a kind of a crappy rating. The Knight of Swords, the Nightmare card, it could point to worry and concern. Obviously, you're pregnant. You got all the emotions going. We could be concerned, worried about something. The Knight of Swords points to that. In my personal opinion, I don't think the Nine of Swords indicates a complication. I just think it indicates concern and worry, maybe needlessly. It could be needless concerns, right? Could be needless concerns with that. But we have cutting cards, which could indicate surgery. The Three of Swords, Ace of Swords. Well, the Ace of Swords is communication, but the Three of Swords is definitely a cutting card. Ten of Swords is definitely a cutting card. The Three and the Ten of Swords are cutting cards. Could indicate surgery, could indicate maybe a C-section, could indicate some complication with that. Again, if you don't know the person, handing them just terrible news, bad news about complications, yeah, you know, be careful. Be careful. It needs to be somebody that you know really well if you're going to bring these things up. The Tower, death. You know, don't take death literally. That's a little panicked. But yeah, the Tower indicates complications as well. I don't need to tell you this. You already knew that. You see the Tower, you're thinking, whoa, what's going on here? Obviously, when you see the Tower, you need to look at cards around the Tower to get more meaning. Just getting the Tower, throwing it down, and panicking makes no sense and doesn't make any difference at all. All right, how do you determine a boy or a girl? Now, everybody's going to have their own system here. So, you know, you're going to have your own system. I'm going to have my own system. Bottom line. So you're looking at this video and you're thinking to yourself, I got my own system. Why do I need his system? You don't. Make up your own system. It's a 50-50 shot. Whatever you have for a 50-50 reading, pull it out. Use it. You don't need to use my system. But here is my system, since you're watching my video. I draw until I get a court card. I get a good shuffle, and then I draw from the top until I see a court card. A page is a girl, a queen is a girl. A knight is a boy, a king is a boy. It's a nice 50-50 system. The first court card wins. The first one wins. Again, use your own system. You're going to have your own system. Your own system could be odd or even cards. It could be, an odd is a boy, an even is a girl. And we just pull, and then we get a Two of Cups. Well, now we got a girl, even's a girl. It depends on how you want to do that. You could do man or woman cards as well. So I pull the king. Well, that's a court card. I pull the emperor. The emperor is a man. There you go. There's your man card. We pull the empress. The empress is a woman. There you go. Now, there are cards that could be either one. I mean, you look at some of the cards and it's sort of a androgynous person. So, you use your own method. Again, you use your own method. Now, speaking of my method, I have a tarot and the seasons. A tarot and the seasons. I want to know when I'm going to be pregnant. Okay, well, not me personally. Chances are I'm not going to get pregnant unless we have a really dramatic leap of scientific discovery. I'm probably not going to get pregnant. But if I were, I'd want to know when I'm going to be pregnant. Okay? And that's going to be Tarot and the Seasons video. Link in the description about Tarot and the Seasons. And that points to, what season, what sort of area of the year will the pregnancy occur. I think this is a fantastic way to determine timelines, in my opinion. Or we can determine the sign of the baby by using the cards. I mean, the cards do have signs at the bottom of them. You need to know what the signs are. You know what I mean? So this, for example, is, going to be moon in Cancer. So if you're looking for this, now you know that it's Cancer. Now, those are born June 21 to July 22nd. Now, you just need to reverse that 9 months, and you know when the pregnancy occurs. So sort of a weird way to do it, in my opinion, but hey, there you go. That is going to be Cancer. So you know the sign of the baby is going to be Cancer, so now you just reverse it and figure it out. You use all of that stuff as well. Another thing I love to get into with somebody who wants to know about the baby is temperament. But because you can get all sorts of good info about the baby. People want to know about their baby. People want to know, what's the temperament? Is it an old soul? Is it a new soul? And this is what I mean when we talk about pregnancies. Do you just want to know yes or no on pregnancies, or do you want to give them a deluxe reading? I want to give them a deluxe reading, where they leave very happy and have fun. And that's where we're going. So temperament, are they a fiery temperament? Is this somebody just going to be a little one that's going to be running around and it's going to be excited all the time and getting into everything? Is this going to be one of those? Is this going to be an emotional type baby where, is very sort of loving and very emotional, sort of gets behind everything and just really sort of supportive and fun? Is this going to be an airy baby? Just needs to talk all the time, needs to listen, needs to learn, always inquisitive, always trying to figure stuff out? Is it an earthly baby? Just sort of into their own thing, just sort of, into their mind, sort of intuitive and sort of into their own environment, a little bit closed off, a little bit of a loner type thing, You could have also a stability with the temperament, a leader. It all depends on the temperament. Again, we can also use, obviously, the sign as well. Their sign is going to give you indications of who they are. But temperament, I think, is great. And, we get a fire card, it's going to be a fiery baby. We get a 2 of Wands. Wands is fire. Now we're going to have a fiery baby. So you can draw cards and sort of get an indicator. If the spread contains a ton of Wands, we have a fiery type feel. Contains a ton of earthly cards, we have an earthly type feel, etc. All right, and sort of where we're going with the next to last, we got old soul, and we got more old soul or new soul. I like saying old or new soul because an old soul is like somebody who is wise beyond their years. They seem to have knowledge that they shouldn't have. They seem to be an expert at things that they shouldn't be an expert at. It seems that they've been around a while. They're calm, they're collective, they're strategic. We have an old soul. Could be indicated by an old person in your spread. You know what I mean? Or a predominance of old people. The hermit. the king, the emperor, sort of an older soul with that. You could have a younger soul, a little bit of an adventure, a little bit of let's jump out and tackle life as it comes. Let's sort of wing it. We could have youngsters, the sun. We could have the Six of Cups. We could have a lot of pages. We could have a young soul, a new soul. And there we go for that. And the last slide here is, if you want to do young soul or new soul, you could have court cards. We could have a king. So a king, wise, beyond their years, very sort of experienced, very good feel to them. And the king is sort of where it's at. You know what I mean? The king is sort of rocking the house. That's sort of an old soul again. Or a new soul could be younger cards, like a page of wands. A knight is sort of, not new, not old, just sort of a little bit experienced. All depends on where you want to go with this. But anyway, hopefully this has added something to your readings for pregnancies. If so, please hit that like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate you joining me today. And here comes the Patreon spam. And the rumors are true. Did you know I had a Patreon? A Patreon is where you can support me. If you like the work I do, if you like the things that you see on the channel, consider supporting me. What do you get, you ask? By the way, 51 patrons. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for all of your support. Everybody on screen is a Patreon supporter. Thank you, and thank you again. I cannot tell you how much your support means to me. I greatly appreciate that. Now, why are they there, you ask? Well, you get all the handouts from all of my projects. So if I have a handout for the collabs or the tarot and the seasons, the selling your tarot on Kickstarter, Psychic Fair secrets, all of the handouts, all of the cheat sheets. You get it all, including all of my books that I've written, the TarotOracle's book, Echoes of Nature book, and the upcoming book that I have for the Waterfall Tarot deck. In addition, you get the Fluffy Virgo Lenormand and all the Lenormand cloths are all included. But the best part, one of the best parts as well, is I teach you how to draw. So if you're interested in drawing stuff, if you're interested in getting pet portraits out the window, I teach you secrets on how to do that in like 4 to 5 hours. You can draw the animals you see on the screen. I have secrets to how to do it super quickly. I have super quick method to where everything you see on the screen was done in 4 to 5 hours. What can you do with this? You can go to your local Facebook groups and sell it. You can go on Etsy and sell pet portraits and make some pretty good cash. I mean, on Etsy, just by the way, this is 15 hours, 15 to 20 hours of information and actual instruction. I show you all of the pencils to use, how to use them, all the techniques step by step. Nice, slow manner. And again, this is only 4 hours work. I mean, you see people on Etsy doing realistic pet stuff. They're charging over $100. So, if you're interested in this, if you're interested in cranking this out in like 4 hours, then definitely see my course. My actual pets look better than that. That's kind of, that was like a 3-hour job there for me. But yeah, the actual pets look better than that. Look at that and compare it to that. Mine look better. I'm just saying, mine look super realistic, and I only did 4 to 5 hours. Anyway, thank you for supporting and watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, we'll see you next time.